Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that can be a real financial lifesaver when you need it most: critical illness insurance.
It's a question nobody ever really wants to think about. Getting that kind of news, it's got to be one of the toughest moments in anyone's life. But there's actually something that can make all that stress a whole lot worse.
And that's it right there, the financial shock. Suddenly, you're not just trying to focus on getting better, you're also worrying about how you're going to pay the bills, your income, your family's future. And that's the exact problem we're going to unpack. Let's be real, modern medicine is incredible. Survival rates for major illnesses like cancer or heart attacks are getting better all the time. But, and this is a big but, getting through a serious illness can bring on a whole new set of challenges. We're talking emotional, of course, but also critically financial ones. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The whole point, the entire goal, is to take that money worry right off the table. It's about giving you the peace of mind to put 100% of your energy into your recovery.
So how does this financial safety net actually work? Let's break it down and look at the nuts and bolts of how it can provide that cushion right when you need it most.
At its core, it's really pretty straightforward. If you're diagnosed with an illness that's covered in your policy, you get a single payment. Now, the key words to remember here are lump sum and tax-free. That means you get all the money at once, and nope, you don't owe any taxes on it.
And this is the best part. The flexibility here is the real superpower. You can use that money for whatever you need. Maybe it's to replace your income so you can actually afford to take time off work. Or maybe so your spouse can. It could cover your mortgage for a year, pay for specialized treatments that aren't covered by public health care, or even just protect your retirement savings from getting totally drained. The choice is completely 100% yours. Okay, so you get how it works. Now let's talk about your options, because this is definitely not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. It's really about finding the plan that fits your needs and, just as importantly, your budget.
Generally, it really boils down to two main choices. On one side, you've got what's called core protection. It's more affordable, and it covers the four most common critical illnesses. On the other side, there's comprehensive protection, which covers those same four plus a whole bunch more. We're talking 25 conditions in total. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Look at this data on where the claims actually come from. You can see that cancer, it accounts for a staggering 69% of all critical illness claims. 69%. Then you add in heart attack, stroke, and coronary surgery, and you're covering almost everything. And that brings us to the key takeaway. That more affordable for-illness plan, it covers a full 85% of all claims paid out. That's a really powerful stat to have when you're trying to decide which plan gives you the right balance of protection and cost.
All right, let's tackle the part of any insurance policy that can feel a bit tricky: the fine print. But don't worry, we're going to make this super clear by looking at a few key ideas you absolutely need to know. Okay, so here's the deal. Getting a diagnosis from your doctor is the first step, but it's not the finish line. For a claim to actually get paid, that diagnosis has to match the exact definition in the policy, word for word. And there are specific timeframes or waiting periods that have to be met. Let's look at three really common examples.
First up, a minimum symptom period. Let's take a stroke, for example. The policy might say that your neurological symptoms have to stick around for a continuous 30 days after you're diagnosed. So if you get diagnosed on April 1st, the benefit would only be payable after May 1st, and only if the symptoms have been there the whole time. Next up is the survival period. This one's pretty common for major surgeries. So let's say you have coronary artery bypass surgery on April 1st. The policy requires you to survive for 30 days after that procedure. If you do, then the benefit gets paid out after that 30-day clock runs out on May 1st. And finally, we have a moratorium period, and this is a really big one for cancer coverage. Basically, there's usually a 90-day window right after your policy kicks in. If you get diagnosed with cancer, or even just show symptoms that lead to a diagnosis during that window, the benefit won't be paid. It's really designed to protect against pre-existing conditions. So, knowing all these details is one thing, but what do you actually do if you get diagnosed? It's bound to be an overwhelming time, but the good news is the claims process is designed to be a clear, step-by-step path. The very first, most important step is to call your advisor. They're your guide, they're your advocate, and they'll get the whole process started for you. A lot of policies also come with access to a service like MediGuide, which is amazing. It connects you with top specialists for a free second medical opinion. What an incredible resource to have. After that, it's a matter of filling out the claim forms to get the official review started.
And that brings us to the last thing I really want you to think about. We all focus on having a health plan to cover our medical bills, right? But it's just as important to stop and ask yourself, is your financial health, your wealth plan, protected if your physical health takes an unexpected hit? It's something to really think about. Thanks so much for watching.